Our founders pledged their lives and their sacred honor to this grand experiment in self-governance that we are now here to steward. It's an experiment that falls to us to guard and to protect it. We take that very seriously on this side of the aisle. In just a few moments, we will remind the world why the American experiment still endures today and why its best days are still ahead of us. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, with one big, beautiful bill, we are going to make this country stronger, safer, and more prosperous than ever before. And every American is going to benefit from that.
Welcome to the Critique Series, episode Maintaining a Fair Tax System that Does Not Overburden. The tax system in the United States is complex and overcomplicated. According to recent data from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the tax system can overburden the economy by discouraging investments. High taxes on businesses and capital can reduce the potential return on investments, which discourage investments and innovations by skewing the risk and reward calculations. Secondly, higher corporate tax is not solely felt by the businesses, but it is felt by the employees in the form of lower wages and by the customers in the form of higher end prices. Both taxes and wages for employees are costs that these companies must pay before returning profit to their investors, lowering the end return on investment and further discouraging investments in the first place. Thirdly, U.S. corporations are competing in a global economy. If our companies have to pay higher corporate taxes, then they are held at a disadvantage versus foreign headquartered competitors. This is why higher corporate taxes hamper economic growth and just do not make much fiscal sense in the long run. That is, if you want your economy to grow and continue to innovate in the first place. Finally, taxes on the working class can also be shown to reduce consumer spending, which in return can also hamper economic outlook for the economy. The United States in particular depends a lot on corporate spending to boost economic output. If more money is leaving people's pockets, then expect the economy to not grow as strong as it could and should grow. As a result, the United States government needs to reauthorize the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, also known as the 2017 Trump Tax Cuts. And by the time this was written, the Congress did reauthorize the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, and I applaud that. I applaud that because the 2017 Trump tax cuts altered the corporate tax system from a tiered 15% to 39% system to a flat 21% tax on corporations across the board. This simplified the corporate tax while also lowering it for most businesses. By lowering the corporate tax rate to 21%, the 2017 Trump tax cuts encouraged businesses to reinvest that money to boost expansion, research, and development, and led to increased productivity. This increased productivity and expanded operations led to higher jobs, more jobs for American families by increasing the competitiveness and fiscal health of American corporations. In fact, according to a new study by a team of economists from Harvard, Princeton, the University of Chicago, and the Treasury Department, they found that the corporate tax cuts resulted in an increase in investments in the United States. To that end, the National Association of Manufacturers have called on Congress to preserve the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. They stated that if the act was not renewed, then the United States economy will lose 6 million jobs and see $1.1 trillion lost in GDP. This is a great testament to the job creation and economic growth that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act brought to the United States economy and working class. Growth we can continue to see since it has been reauthorized, as you have seen in the introduction to this video.